guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this matte purple smoky look, so if you were interested then just go ahead and keep on watching. I'm going to be starting off this look not by priming my eyes but by moisturizing my lips. I'm using the new Milani Fruit Fresh lip balm. This is a brand new lip balm that they just recently launched that comes in a bunch of different scents and I've been really loving it, and yeah, I just really like the way that it feels on my lips. So I've been using it prior to doing my makeup to just keep my lips moisturized as I'm applying my eyeshadow. And then I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes. I'm using the Morphe Fluidity concealer in 3.55 to carve underneath my brows first, as well as conceal the outer portions of the eye so that way that area blends into my foundation later on. Next, I'm going in with some Bperfect eyeshadow priming base. I really love this base. It just works for all of my eyeshadows, so I'm going to add that to the center of the lid and just make sure to blend that out really well into the concealer that we applied before. Moving on to eyeshadows, I'm going to be first dipping into the Ace Beauty Paradise Fallen palette and taking the shade Shadow. I'm going to start adding that onto the outer corner and dragging it into the crease. I'm making sure to use a very light hand as I'm applying this color because it is super pigmented and it does kind of give me a little bit of fallout, so using a light hand just makes sure that the color goes on a lot more smoothly without all the extra fallout going on. I'm then going to go into the Ace Beauty Slice of Paradise palette and taking that purple shade from that palette, which is Honeyberry. I'm going to add that onto the crease as well and use that to blend out our previous shade. I'm using a slightly fluffier brush this time to really make sure I get that nice smooth blend. Before I go in with my third transition color, you guys already know I like to use a little bit of translucent powder onto the brow bone to really get that diffused look. It just makes that last transition color blend a whole lot easier and more smoothly. So I'm going to add that onto the brow bone, and then I'll go into my third transition color, which is from the Huda Beauty Pastel Lilacs palette. I'm taking the darkest pastel purple from that palette, and I'm going to start adding that onto the outer crease as well. To prime the lid space, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Matte and the Huda Beauty Matte and Metal Melted Shadows. Oh my gosh, that's a tongue twister. I'm using the matte side of this eyeshadow. There's a matte and a metallic side of this eyeshadow. But yeah, I'm using the matte side. It is like a pastel purple, so I thought it would work really well as like a primer before I go in with my lid shade. So I'm going to add that matte eyeshadow onto the lid first and just make sure to blend it in really well. And then I'll go in with another pastel purple from the Lilacs palette, and I'm going to add that right on top just to set it so it doesn't crease or anything like that. It does dry down into like a complete matte finish, but I just wanted to add a little bit of eyeshadow just to really make sure that there's no like creasing and stuff like that, just to be on the safe side. I am going to be doing a smoky liner for this look, so I'm going to use the Beauty Bakerie Gelato liner in Black Milk as my base. I'm going to use a really small detailing brush and just give that a little bit of a smudge onto the top lash line. Then to blend that out, I'm going to go back in with those two same eyeshadows that we applied first onto the crease. So those are Shadow from the Paradise Fallen palette and Honeyberry from the Slice of Paradise palette. And I'm just going to add those onto the lash line as well to create that smoky liner that I'm going for. You definitely don't have to use these exact purple eyeshadows that I'm using because I know I used like 3 different palettes for this look. I didn't even realize it until I'm like looking at the footage back and like seeing, you know, everything as I'm like doing my voiceover. You can definitely use whatever purple eyeshadows you have in your collection. I just wanted like a specific purple for this look, so that's the reason why I'm using like purples from different palettes and stuff. But yeah, definitely don't feel the need to like buy 3 different palettes just to get a look. You can definitely use whatever you have at home. So moving on, I'm gonna add my mascara next. This is actually a new product for me. This is the Milk Makeup Kush mascara, and I'm gonna add a couple of coats of that onto the lashes before I go in with my falsies. And the false lashes that I'm using today are from CrvstalLashes. These are in the style Daredevil. I did give them a bit of a curl with my lash curler just so they kind of like push up a little bit more. I just kind of prefer that effect for my eye shape and everything like that versus like a straight lash. So I like to go in with my lash curlers prior to applying them and just give them a little bit of an extra curl. So that's pretty much it for the eyes. I'm going to move on to skin. I'm first going to prep the skin using the Farsali Rose Gold Face Mist. I'm going to do a couple of sprays of that and dry it down using my fan. And then I'll move on to moisturizer. I'm using the Laura Mercier Flawless Skin Moisturizing Glow Mask. So yes, this is a mask, but I'm going to be using it as a moisturizer. I picked up this tip from Painted by Spencer here on YouTube. I just love the way he does skin. It's so good. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, I highly recommend that you just like take a look at his tutorials. I've been learning so much from him when it comes to skin. The way he does skin is just amazing. So I definitely picked up this tip from him and I've been loving it thus far. So I'm going to add that onto the skin next, and then I'll go in with my primer, and I'm using another new product. This is new to me, but not new to the makeup world. This is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, and yes, it is as amazing as everyone says. It took me forever to get my hands on it, but shout out to Milk Makeup for sending it over in PR. So I'm going to add that next for primer, and I'll do a second primer as well, just to kind of keep my oils at bay and stuff. So I'm using the Farsali, what do you call this stuff again? Their oil balancing primer. What is this called again? I'm just having the biggest brain fart. Oh my gosh. But you guys know what I'm talking about. It's their oil balancing primer that dries like their liquid serum, their liquid powder serum. There you go. So I'm using that for all of my oilier areas. So the forehead, the nose, a little bit on the cheeks. Of course, I have to go in with the Beauty Bakerie Instabake foundation. This is my ride or die. I love this foundation. It's just, I mean, need I say more? Like, it just makes the skin look so good. It's definitely one of my favorites. I also have a coupon code for Beauty Bakerie. So if you guys are interested in purchasing this foundation or any of their other products, definitely, use that coupon code and get a discount. I also have an affiliate link down below in the description box. So if you want to purchase your Beauty Bakerie products and help your girl out with a little bit of commission, from your purchase, then feel free to do that. If you don't, then no worries at all. It's just something to throw out there, because it's definitely helpful. So once I'm done applying my foundation, I'm gonna go in with some concealer. I'm using a color corrector first from Danessa Myricks. This is the Vision Cream Cover Wand. I'm using a mixture of the two peachy shades that she has, so TP01 and TP02. And I'm gonna mix those together to kind of get like my more preferred peach corrector and everything. And I'll apply that on the under eyes to help correct any darkness in that space. Then for concealer, I'm going to use a mixture of the Makeup Revolution. Wait, no, this is not Makeup Revolution actually. This is the Revolution Pro. Revolution Pro Ultimate Coverage Concealer in a C11.2, along with the Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer in 50WY. And I'm going to use a mixture of those two shades to brighten all the areas that I want to highlight. The Revolution Pro Concealer is really thick in consistency, so I like to mix it with another concealer to help kind of loosen it up a little bit. I do really love the coverage, that's why I like it so much, but it's like super thick and sometimes it can be really difficult to blend and everything. So I like to mix it with another concealer to make it a little bit more, easy to blend and stuff. And with all my complexion products, I definitely like to blend out with a brush first and then go in with the sponge. I feel like it helps kind of keep the coverage that I'm going for, and the sponge just makes everything, like super flawless looking. Next, I'm moving on to some cream contour. I'm using a mixture of two shades of the Black Opal Skin Perfecting Foundation Stick. I'm not entirely sure what these shades are. I know one is like Sweet Espresso, but I'm not entirely sure what the other one is. I'll make sure to leave the names down below in the description box. Anytime you guys have a question about like products that I'm using, I always leave them down in the description box. I'm also including links these days. If you do use the link, just know that they are affiliate links and I do get a little bit of commission, but you are helping your girl out pay her bills, so it's definitely appreciated. Once I'm done with my cream contour, I'll go in with my powders. Now that all of my liquid and cream products are all done, I can move into like setting everything with powders. To set the under eyes first, I'm going to use the Milk Makeup Blur and Set Loose Setting Powder, and this one is in the shade Medium Translucent, or Translucent Medium. And I'm going to use a sponge to just apply that, a very light layer, nothing crazy. You guys know I'm not like a really big baker or anything like that. I'm just going to add a very thin layer onto all the areas that I applied concealer, and I'm just going to tap that onto those areas until the powder disappears. Next up, I'm setting everything else using the MAC Studio Fix powder in NC50 along with my Laura Mercier powder puff. This is my new favorite tool to use for like powders and stuff. I'm probably just going to be using it to set like all over the face like I'm doing right now, but I love the way that this made my skin look. It just made the skin look super flawless. Along with the powder, it just gave like the super like perfected look, and I love it. And now that the rest of the face is set, I'm going to move on to my powder bronzers. This is just going to give a little bit of extra warmth into the skin and further define like that cream contour that we did earlier. So I'm using a mixture of the Vesca Beauty Soft Matte Bronzers in Kiss by Maldives and Kiss by Cabo. I love this mixture. It just gives this really beautiful, warm, you know, bronzed look. And yeah, I'm going to add that on all the areas that I applied my cream contour. So again, the forehead and the cheekbones, and a little bit on the nose this time. Once I'm done applying my bronzer, I'll go in with a little bit of extra setting powder and snatch up that nose there. I'm going to add some onto the bridge and the sides of the nose. This is the only time that I'll bake. So I'm going to let that powder sit there as I'm applying my blush. And the blush that I'm using is from Colored Raine from the Power Collection, and this is like the peachy duo. So I'm going to use the blush side and apply that onto the tops of the cheeks and just make sure to blend that into the bronzer really well. Then next, I'm going to highlight the nose. I'm using the Milk Makeup Flex Highlighter, and I'm just going to take that onto the tip, sides, and bridge of the nose right in between the eyes. I'm going to move back to the eyes now. I'm going to add some liner to that waterline. This is the Japanese Velvet Touch eyeliner in the shade Waterline Nude. And then to smoke out the lower lash line, I'm just going to go back in with those same two shadows that we applied onto the crease. So the shade Shadow from the Paradise Fallen palette from Ace Beauty, and Honeyberry from the Slice of Paradise palette. And then I'll add my mascara. This is the same mascara that I use on the top lashes from Milk Makeup. Then for my individual lashes on the lower lash line, I'm using the Ardell Double Up individuals, and I'm using the shortest ones. I'm going to place just 2 of those onto the outer portion of the lower lash line with a tiny bit of lash glue and some tweezers. Then for the inner corner, going back into the Pastels Lilac palette from Huda Beauty, I'm taking the lightest purple pastel shade from that palette, and I'm going to pop that into the inner corners to complete the eyes. Then for brows, I'm testing out some new brow products. This is the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Java. I'm also using the shade Latte. I do like the formula of these. Like, these brow pencils are really bomb. I'm definitely going to be testing out more shades just to kind of get a feel for the shade range and everything. But I do like, you know, the formula. They're definitely really pigmented and they work really well over makeup. So if you're like me and you like to do your brows, you know, after foundation and everything like that, these brow pencils worked out really well for me. Then next, I'm going in with the Milk Kush Triple Brow Pen, and this one is in the shade Grind. Now, typically I would do this technique of like creating faux brow hairs using a brow pomade. That's how I've done it in the past, but I really wanted to try out this product because I thought it was so clever in the way that they added a felt tip with 3 different, you know, little points. So it makes it just 10 times easier for you to create those like faux brow hairs. And then to finish up the brows, I'll go in with some brow gel. I'm using one from NYX. This is their Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. And then finally for the lips, I'm going to line first using the Melt Cosmetics All Day Everyday Lip Liner in the shade Edible. This is one of my favorite lip liners of all time right now. And I'm also going to line using the NYX Slide On Glide On Lip Liner in the shade Urban Cafe. I'm going to use the NYX one first to line because it is a little bit lighter. And then I'll use the Melt Cosmetics one to just kind of further contour the lips to create more of like that shadow on the outer edge. And then to fill them in, I'm going in with some Glow Up Academy Soft Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Pout Me. This is such a perfect peachy nude lip, guys. And the formula of Kiki's liquid lipsticks is so bomb. It's not like drying or anything like that. It's really comfortable to wear. So I'm going to apply that using the applicator and just blend it in really well using a brush. And then to complete the look, I'm using a little bit of setting spray from Milani. I'm going to spritz that all over and again, just go in with my fan and dry that all the way down. And that pretty much completes the look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm hoping that this video brought a little bit of love and light into your day. I know for me, like doing makeup and, you know, filming and stuff, it really helps kind of keep my mind in the more positive place. So I'm hoping that that translates. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you guys and hopefully I will see you in the next one.